Where's the worry when it comes to this Houston Texans team? You're thinking about something that could go wrong or might be an issue for the Texans in 2024. Where's your worry? Let me know in the comments section as we go along. I've got three spots that are a tiny bit of a worry for me. Now, I try not to worry, especially about on things that I can't control. The Texans probably can't control a lot of these things. And if it never shows up, hey, great. But here's my first one. Key players with an injury history. Okay, my first worry is key players with an injury history. And I specifically want to single out Derek Stingley, Laramie Tunsil, and Titus Howard. Those three players, key players for this team with an injury history. Now, why exactly are they key players? Obviously, your tackles in the NFL, super important, and your top cornerback, super important for the team. But you look at who would be in the game if those guys couldn't go, and it's Kamari Lassiter, the rookie, who I know he impressed at minicamp, but is he ready to be the top cornerback on this team? Is it Jeff Okudah, CJ Henderson? You kind of see how relying on a key player like Derek Stingley, who's got an injury history, could get dicey fast if the injuries go the wrong way for Stingley. Same with Tunsil and Howard. Charlie Hex, your left or right tackle, if either one of those guys can't go. Blake Fisher, the rookie, the second-round pick, is your left or right tackle if either one of those guys can't go. Injury history to key players on this roster, with those three specifically being the ones that I would think about. That worries me just a little bit with this Texans team. And it's something that they can't control because they just got to get the guys healthy, okay, and keep them healthy. And if they get hurt, well, that's the NFL. Guys get hurt. Now, hopefully the injury bug, which was so bad to the Texans last year, is a little bit nicer this year. But if it is indeed going to bite them again, hopefully it doesn't bite them at cornerback one, left tackle, or right tackle. Hopefully it doesn't bite them at all. Never wish bug bites on anybody. Certainly not the injury bug. Oh, don't want that. Another spot that I'm just a tiny bit worried about with this team is the running back position after Joe Mixon. And I know Dameon Pierce had a couple of nice moments in OTAs and minicamp. He looks to be in better shape. He looks physically to be in a better spot than he was a year ago. He's got a year under his belt in this system. And there's a lot to like about the potential of Dameon Pierce's 2024, but I'm still a little worried about that. I look around the league and most teams have the clear-cut number one and a solid to good number two. And the Texans have a clear-cut number one. No questions asked. It's Joe Mixon. The clear-cut number two who's solid to good, 2023 Dameon Pierce wasn't solid or good. Dare Agumbawale is not the type of player that is going to play a whole bunch of reps. And then you're looking at J.J. Taylor, who's been on the practice squad for this team. You're looking at British Brooks, who's an undrafted free agent from North Carolina, or Jawar Jordan, who's a late-round pick by this Texans team from Louisville. And again, this is hopefully you don't have to call on this person too often if you're the Texans, because if Joe Mixon takes care of business, that player may only play 20% of the time, 30% of the time, and hopefully you're taking care of business as a passing offense in that sense if you're turning to the backup running back. Joe Mixon carries it however many times. You're grinding out the clock. Mixon needs a little break. Hey, tap the helmet. Okay, go in, whoever. But I just don't know if I'm as comfortable with the running back depth chart as I could be for this Texans team. It starts with Dameon Pierce. If he plays well, D'Amico Ryans talked about how he'd love for Pierce to be the 1-2 punch with Joe Mixon. If he takes care of his business, then there's nothing to worry about on that depth chart. You let the third running back kind of be a special teams guy, and if they keep a fourth guy, hey, there you go. You can take care of business. They've got to have solid running back room. They have to have a solid running back room because they've got to run the football better. In the early 20s in yards per game last year. One of the worst yards per carry in all of football last year the Texans had. And I know that Bobby Slowick wants to run the football, and I have to imagine it unlocks a whole nother element of his offense if indeed they can run the football just a little bit better. Actually, they probably need to do a lot better than what they did last year. So that is my second worry. And my third worry would be that I'm overrating the safety situation. And you're thinking to yourself, Cody, you've been telling us the safeties are in a solid spot if they're healthy. And yeah, I do believe they are going to be in a solid spot if they're healthy. A healthy Jimmy Ward, a healthy Jalen Petrie, Eric Murray is the key backup, MJ Stewart, Kalen Bullock, the rookie, the third-round pick. Like, I feel like that's a pretty good safety setup. But if I've been overrating what those safeties can bring to the table, then the safety room is not nearly as good as I thought it would be. And that could be a leaky part of what should be a really stellar defense. I mean, the front seven, I love this front seven. I mean, it is going to be fearsome. You're going to have defensive tackles that hopefully know the system to a T and execute their jobs. You've got two incredible defensive ends, a top flight backup in Danico Autry behind Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson. I really like Azeez Al-Shire and Christian Harris as the linebacker duo. Maybe a little bit more depth would be nice at the linebacker spot, or guys that could separate themselves and turn into nice depth pieces. And if cornerback, look, Kamari Lassiter looked good in minicamp, OTAs, Derek Stingley stays healthy, it's kind of all coming together. There's 9 spots you feel pretty decent about. And then you get to the safety spot. Well, Jimmy Ward, he's got to stay healthy, okay? And look, health could derail him, certainly, but if he's healthy and just doesn't play very well, that would be an issue. Same with Jalen Petrie. If he can't bounce back from last year, I believe he can. I believe they're going to put him in better positions to succeed this year. But if he can't bounce back, then that could be a little bit of an issue. And then Eric Murray, I like him as a key backup, and they put him on the field quite a bit. But if he hadn't bounced back from his injury, or he gets exposed as, hey, he's clearly a backup on the field, or he's not as good as he was last year, sort of that backup safety, that safety lets them play chess pieces. And if Kalen Bullock's not ready, you can see how it kind of spirals out of control for the safety spot, and it becomes a leaky element to what otherwise should be a really nice defense. Now, not too much concern. I don't feel like I'm way off on these safeties. A healthy Ward and Murray should give them a really solid base. Petrie's got to bounce back, and I really like what I've seen from Kalen Bullock. It's only been a very tiny amount. We'll have most of July and August to find out more about Bullock when training camp gets here. But those are my 3 worries. Do you have any worries about this Texans team? Let me know in the comment section down below. Appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you can see, not my normal spot for the video, so hope the adjusted availabilities of my filming equipment didn't bother you too much. Appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Can't wait till we talk Texans again soon.